Life of Parmatman Shri Sat-chit-atman Bhagwan at a glance. The birth of Shri Sat-chit-atman Bhagwan took place in the family of pious and devoted Sauratya Vanik caste of Vadwan on July 24, 1917, on the auspicious day of bright half of the moon of Shravan as per Hindu calendar. His former name was Pratap Rai Devji Bai Madani. At the time of manifestation of divine personages, there is always a symbol of divine indication, and similarly, at the time of manifestation of prabhushri, one akira nut covered with red turmeric powder was found lying in his bed. The good tiding in the form of auspicious manifestation was an indication of his future life as an incarnation. Education. From the very beginning, he was found to have been very brilliant. After passing his matriculation examination, he obtained admission in the St. Xavier's College at Mumbai in the Science Division. His heart having melted at the imagination of his having to carry out violent experiments on frogs in future, after passing the first year in the science class, from the second year he got himself admitted in the arts division. He completed his study up to MA degree in commerce and political science as his subjects. Side by side, he also completed a course of LLB. Then he went to Pune and obtained an LLM degree. Thus, he became a graduate in the field of arts and law. He still had a great desire for further studies. He had a strong desire to go to a foreign country and obtain a PhD degree in the field of international law, and after returning, to establish an ideal school of social science. With this idea, he went to New York in January 1949. And he passed a very difficult entrance examination of famous Columbia University for study in the subject of law. Obtained admission in PhD course, where under the guidance of Professor Lizette Zen started writing his thesis. During this period, he also obtained his MA degree. Extraordinary event. Now he was to enter into a very important phase of his life. Even though living in a foreign land, he had continued to lead a spiritual and devoted life. After completion of his thesis, in the allotted time, an extraordinary event took place which was to change his course of life. Once, while he was sitting in a garden, he experienced a powerful flow of energy within himself. Thereupon, he became afraid and went running to his home, where he heard a clear inner voice, that is God's message, and was told that your divine incarnate manifestation has taken place for the welfare of mankind. The necessary education, knowledge which was to be obtained gets completed. Now renounce all worldly goods and enter into sadhana. Upon receiving the above divine command, whatever he was possessing, In his home, like books, money, and thesis, he immersed them into Hudson River, and in accordance with it, he began his sadhana. This sadhana was very difficult. It had been heard to his having said, "In the first 6 months, I had never come to know as to when the sun had risen and set. Due to intensive penance, the body had become extremely emaciated. After about 1.5 years, in the year 1954, he returned to India after receiving a command to do so. Life. He was himself the divine form of Brahma Parmatma. In order to understand this, it is a sufficient proof of his possessing some special spiritual powers and distinguishing characteristics. He was an extraordinary treasure house of qualities of divine wealth. Qualities like truth, non-violence, compassion, love, austerity, renouncement, forgiveness, equanimity, purity, etc. were seen to exist in the highest degree. Moreover, a circle of light reflecting essence of his being as an incarnation used to remain in the existence surrounding his face. In his vicinity, extraordinary supreme peace used to be experienced. His body and their parts were seen to be similar to those of divine personages as shown by the scholars of science and chiromancy, that is, long hands reaching up to his knees, etc. Intense yearning for welfare of the world was seen to exist within him as an expression of universal love. Violence upon dumb creatures melted his heart, and tears used to flow from his eyes, and beholding this, one used to experience compassionate Brahma in its absolute state. Innumerable such characteristics were found to exist within him. His life was supremely pure, full of asceticism and simplicity. He used to observe the great vows of truth, non-violence, celibacy, etc. to their minutest extent. He never used to partake services of anyone during illness. He used to take rest for 3 to 4 hours only on a mattress made of sacred darba grass. Every now and again he went on fast. In food, he used to take a simple diet in the company of his devotees during midday hours. He never used to hoard anything, and when he found anyone unhappy, he used to also give away his own personal possessions. He used to strictly observe daily duties and vows. In short, it is possible to completely understand for a common human being what an ideal spiritual life can be from the exemplary life of prabhushri. Important work. In connection with the incident that took place in Salem in the year 1971, he had sent his devotees there twice and made them move there while reciting Akhand Dhun and cleanse the tainted atmosphere prevailing there. In this manner, after the conquest of Antariksha, that is outer atmosphere, the important work that was taken up on hand was that of construction of Sat-chit-atman Shri Ramji Mandir. Necessary improvements were made in the existing temple. The pictures and writings in conformity with the ideas of Satya Yuga, etc. were installed. For 6 months, Akhand Dhun was performed, and thereafter, in the year 1973, on the auspicious day of Dev Diwali, he himself, with his own hands, consecrated the idol of Shri Ram Chandra Bhagwan, having 4 hands, that is, invested idol with life. By hard work and tapas, that is penance, a spiritual temple was created. This center established by him became a holy divine place of pilgrimage. Brahma Mantra Akhand Dhun. His great and very important contribution to the world is Brihad Brahma Mantra Om Hrim Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Ram, which was born by the penance that he performed for 12 years earlier, and his intelligence that this Brahma Mantra was born for the welfare of the world. This mantra alone was the infallible vapid power. He explained the usefulness of this mantra for various different motives. After the gift of the mantra, other special gift was Akhand Dhun. It was born in the context of the avoidance of destruction of universe, a disaster. It was not merely the usage coming down from old times or traditional activity according to scriptures. In fact, it is a most scientific activity in the form of constant prayer to the Supreme Being in accordance with the Adhyatma Vigyan, that is, spiritual knowledge of Supreme Being. Disaster, its cause and remedy. In the year 1974, Prabhushri had inner experience, and after study of some authoritative forecasts and religious scriptures, he came to the understanding that the period from 1975 to 2000 was that of disaster, during which there is a possibility of incidents like disaster big or small likely to continue. In addition to this, also as mentioned in Samhitas like Surya, Bhrigu, Vara, etc. relating to him, it was becoming clear that at that period of time his work was relating to disaster and saving the world from the same. If disaster would befall, then majority the world and property would get destroyed. Hence his main work up to this time was establishment of an age of truth, which now got converted into that of prevention of disaster.